Hello, this is Billy Core from the Carolina Circle Mile Wiki. It is very early on a Wednesday morning, February the 11th. Yes, it is the 11th of 2015, and I just wanted to make a more upbeat video compared to my last one to even things out. And I was trying to figure out what to do, and I just had this random idea. Why not show some of my still in the box vintage software? And a lot of these I've shown on YouTube before. A couple of these I've even done unboxings of before over the past several years. But I figured I'd just do a video showing all that I have right now. So let's start off with one of my favorites, Windows 3.1. If you go way back in my video history to, I believe, April of 2010, you can watch me unbox this right here. I've now, about 5 years later after I unboxed it, I feel kind of bad for doing so, for it being so old and complete. You can see all the details on the back here. You can pause this at any time if you want to read some of this. Love that old mouse there. Yeah, this was actually an Easter present from my aunt in 2010. We found this at a computer store at the Marketplace Mall in Winston-Salem, and it was new and sealed. I just could not believe that. It was, I guess, 18 years old at the time in 2010, and now it's almost 23 years old. It's hard to believe, but I'd open it up, but I don't feel like pulling with that right now. So we'll just set that to the side there. And this is something else my aunt gave me. This was for my what year? This was for my 23rd birthday in 2012. She found this at a Goodwill, possibly in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. This is still sealed. IBM PC Doll 7. This was pretty much, for those who don't know, IBM's concept of what DOS was. And this was their 7th edition. I'm really not as familiar with other versions of DOS as I am with MS-DOS. I'm sure a lot of people are the same way. More memory for DOS and Windows games and applications. I believe this came out in 1995. Comes with something called Stacker 4.0. It comes on 3.5-inch floppy disk. Here's the back of it. Again, pause this if you want to read all what's on here. Really pushing PCMCIA stuff on here. And I was right, 1995. Okay, I'll go ahead and put that down here. And something else that I actually found at Value Village this past November. Can't remember if I've opened it or not. This is the Microsoft TrueType font pack for Windows, an early program for Windows 3.1. And it contains both 5 1/4-inch and 3 1/2-inch floppy disks, new for Microsoft Windows version 3.1. And of course, Value Village had to stick the price sticker up with a permanent marker right on the front. But yeah, I was very lucky to get it for just $2. And this was not sealed when I got it, but it was complete. And here's the back of it. I'm assuming this is from 1992, the same year Windows 3.1 came out. Guess I would have been about 2 years old when all this happened, and I didn't even know what a computer was. Again, pause this if you want. This was basically just an add-on package for Windows straight from Microsoft that gave you more fonts. Yeah, 44 new fonts, including those. And we kind of take fonts for granted these days, but back then, fonts were kind of archaic. And it was a pretty big business, I believe. It's 1992 copyright date. System requirements, there they are right there. Doesn't really take a whole lot. Need at least a, I believe a 386, maybe even a 286. But I really don't think Windows 3.1 was compatible with a 286. Correct me if I'm wrong, though. But I have a feeling if it was compatible with a 286, it probably wasn't a very pleasant experience running Windows 3.1 on a 286. Okay, I got this also from my aunt. I got this back in 2011. A very classic computer game, SimCity 2000, the ultimate city simulator. This is the Macintosh edition of the program. Unfortunately, I do not have a Macintosh to play it on. Really never really got into collecting Apple hardware. Wouldn't mind a couple of little things from Apple, like a Apple IIe, because that was what we had in our kindergarten classroom back in 1995. And there's the back. And I believe this was the original release of SimCity 2000 from Maxis. If you want to know more about this stuff, head on over to Lazy Game Reviews channel. He has a ton of information about this good stuff. From 1993. And I guess we can open this one up. You get two floppy disks there. Again, this is for Macintosh. Get the owner's manual, which is rather thick for a computer game. And, oh boy, the Software Toys catalog. I believe I made a video about this back in 2011, but there's that stuff there. And a quick start guide. Go ahead and put all this back in here. Really should be in bed right now. But I'm not, because I'm stupid. And, what else? Oh yeah, I got this last year, one of my all-time favorite computer games, Fatty Bear's Birthday Surprise. I actually did unbox this in my 1-year anniversary of my Packard Bell Legend 822 CDT of when I got it back. I was a little disappointed, though, because this was not the original release that I got in the early part of 1996. I mean, it looked just like this and everything, same box, but the insides were a little different. It had older stuff. But this one is like the 1997 edition with the 1997 catalog with like Pajama Sam and all those that weren't around when I first played this game, so I was a little disappointed, but I'm still very lucky to have bought this. And I wouldn't mind getting more boxed Humongous Entertainment stuff, especially from this particular era. Boy, this takes me back. I remember this was in early 1996. We hadn't had the 822 long, but my dad picked me up from school that morning, not that morning, that afternoon. I can tell I'm getting tired. And we were driving home in his white 1995 Honda Accord V6. He reached in between the driver's seat and the door, pulled this game out and handed it to me. And oh, was I a happy kid. And to this day, it's still pretty much one of my top 5 favorite computer games ever, just because of the atmosphere it has. And I still have my original copy of it. I don't have the box anymore, unfortunately. As you can tell, I have taken the seal off of this box and everything, but the original CD has never been opened. It still has its shrink wrap in it. And as of right now, I intend to keep it that way. And I bought this a couple of years ago at Value Village, a later Humongous Entertainment title, and I did do an unboxing of this back in 2013. Freddy Fish 3, The Case of the Stolen Conch Shell. I can't talk either tonight. It's a junior adventure. I believe this is from 1998. I believe it has everything inside, including the catalog and the activity book. I used to love those from Humongous Entertainment. There's Trouble in Paradise. Didn't Huey Lewis and the News do a song kind of like that? Yeah. And just because, well, these really aren't official boxes, but I just happen to have these. Some good old Windows XP nostalgia. This is my copy of Windows XP Home Edition RTM that I bought for my old Pentium 3 Gateway on December 31st, 2002. Paid about $100 for this. Gotta make sure I'm not showing any product keys, but there's the original upgrade CD. Unfortunately, that computer was so crap that even Windows XP couldn't save it, but I was only 13 at the time and I didn't know how to do an in-place upgrade, and all I knew how to do was an in-place upgrade. Nowadays, I just do a clean install, but that computer was junk anyway, as powerful as it was. So yeah, I'm gonna hold on to this as long as I can. And I bought this at Value Village about a year and a half ago. I always had this for Windows XP, but I never had the real copy of it. I just had a CDR copy that my uncle made for me, plus for Windows XP. Always a cool thing, and it's always a must-have for all my Windows XP installs, and or Windows Embedded POS Ready 2009. There's the disc right there, and manual and a pamphlet for Plus Digital Media Edition, which I also had back then, but then it got to the point where I activated it too many times, and well, it kind of rendered it useless. But now I saved the best for last. My pride and joy. You've seen this in the background of a lot of my videos. My sealed copy of my favorite operating system in the whole world, Windows 95. I used to have another version of this, the 3.5-inch floppy disk version that I bought back in 2011 for $15 at that same store in Winston-Salem that the Windows 3.1 box came from. It was also sealed, but I wound up buying this in May of 2013 and gave that other box to my aunt for her birthday that year. But I believe this was a later release because it mentions including Internet Explorer version 4. This is the upgrade edition. And there's the side of it. I tell you, looking at all this stuff brings back memories of walking through stores like CompUSA and Best Buy, back when they had aisles and aisles and aisles of computer games and software that looked just like this. And there's the back. Like I said, this is a slightly newer edition, I believe from 1997. Yep, 1997. The system requirements for Windows 95, believe me, I would not recommend running it on a 386 of any kind. It's really not a pleasant experience. I've never done it before, but I've seen other people who have, and yeah. Well, I even mentioned Windows NT on there. There's the Microsoft website. Obviously, that still exists, although it looks quite a bit different. Windows 95 desktop on the back there. And the COA symbol here on the other side. And I've always been very tempted to open this box up and see what's inside, but because I'm sure there's all kinds of goodies in there that'll be fun to look at. But this is Windows 95, my childhood operating system, It's still sealed in the box. I got it for only $15 on eBay 2 years ago. I just can't bring myself to ever open it up like I did that Windows 3.1 box 5 years ago, which I still kind of regret doing. But, oh well. Yeah, good old Windows 95. And I hope to collect some more of these box-sealed software, especially from Microsoft, the stuff that came out along with Windows 95. I wouldn't mind having a sealed copy of Microsoft Plus for Windows 95, and maybe even Office for Windows 95, and all the other stuff that looks kind of like this. So maybe I can do that at some point. And by the way, this is the CD-ROM version. I can't remember if I pointed that out or not, but there it is. So yeah, that was a look at my software collection. Let's see if we can put it all up together. It's not going to be in any particular order, I can guarantee you that. Although we can put the humongous stuff on its own. And there it is, for all the world to see. Yeah, pretty cool stuff, huh? Yeah, so I'm no lazy game reviews. I don't have shelves and shelves and shelves of this stuff, although that would be awesome, but I still cherish these, especially the ones that are still sealed, and particularly a fan of the Fatty Bear one, even if it does have the 1997 catalog. I'd love to find some of those old activity books from Humongous Entertainment. I do have the one from Freddy Fish 3, though. Another thing I wouldn't mind finding from Humongous at some point are those early newsletters they would send out. You see, back in the mid-90s, if you signed up for this, they would send you a newsletter every month with like activities that you could do. And they were a lot of fun, but I've never been able to find them anywhere else since, so oh well. But yeah, I just thought I'd make a quick little video showing off some of this stuff, so this is Billy Core signing off.